I've been a dreamer of settling for less. I've been a fire, I've been the rain, I've been a circle again and again.
Hear me when I say let's make a night to remember. Let's celebrate from now till forever. This time we'll make a night to remind us we only have one life, gotta live it out loud. In another time, in another place, we could be lovers that can be replaced. But I still believe this time we got something. We paved the way on the other side while making plans to live a good life. But something is better than nothing at all. Don't you know that if you walk away, nothing ever change? Hear me when I say let's make a night to remember. Let's celebrate from now till forever. This time we'll make a night to remind us we only have one life, gotta live it out loud. Where you wanna go? There's no tomorrow we can leave behind, 'cause we are the heroes of our own life. God only knows where we could be. If you walk away, nothing ever change. We make mistakes, we can break away. Hear me when I say let's make a night to remember. Let's celebrate from now till forever. This time we'll make a night to remind us we only have one life, gotta live it out loud. Hear me when I say let's make a night to remember. Let's celebrate from now till forever. This time we'll make a night to remind us we only have one life, gotta live it out loud. Where you wanna go? We'll make it right. Where you wanna go? Hear me when I say let's make a night to remember. Let's celebrate from now till
I went out today just to see the light. It will never change, and I know I'm leaving. Trying to find out what I want, but it slipped away. You don't know how much I thought of you. It will never change, no matter what you do. Just let me come home and let me stay. I could let it pass, but not tonight. I could let this pass, but tonight
Tails and talons and horns, oh my.
Danny is not fooling around.
It's Monday, April 1st, and this is your Smart Doll News.
Happy Monday, everybody!
Happy April.
Yes, happy April. It is, it's the 1st of April, and we're happy to be here. I'm gonna be saying that a lot this episode. Just, for reference. We've got some new stuff. We've got a newish girl here too in between.
Yep, we got Legion and T just kind of hanging out with us today, showing off that awesome wig that came in the Chaos drop.
Doesn't have a name yet, so I don't know. You know us by now. Throw some names at us. Let us know what you think. But let's get into it, shall we? So, first up,
Hair medium bust. Available solo.
Almost as soon as he was like, it's not gonna be out for a very long time.
And we said it on the news. Lizzie Boo turns around and gets it done.
Oh, thank you so much, Spiral Mind.
Thank you, Spiral Mind.
And I mean, this is a meta conversation here, but the responsiveness tonight is really short, or whatever.
Good.
Yeah, it's good. I really wish you all could see our monitor right now.
Music is loud and they can't hear us.
Okay, I'm not sure why that added that in. There we go. So, welcome to the Smart Doll News. I had some issues with, which apparently have solved themselves on this screen. But in doing so, I added in another view, which for some reason was capturing the audio as well. So I apologize for that. Medium busts just after he said we weren't going to see any for a long time.
Yeah, right. So we said it on the news. We said he's be aware. You might want to get your dolls now because you don't know if you're gonna be able to get the medium bust.
Well, it was don't get standalone if you want the medium bust. Was what it was.
Right. And now you can get medium busts. So.
Lee says that it's apparently okay. So that's not even working. Everything. It's April 1st. Even
everything is busted.
Everything is
Yeah, Lee comments it's April Fools, and clearly the program is deciding to be part of the joke. Yes, it is.
I don't know what's happening. Yeah, and the chat isn't even showing up. Like it's there. It's just not actually
on screen.
On screen. Apologize for that. None of the. It looks like currently none of the chat functions from Chat Ninja is working right now. Although we can at least see it, so that's something.
So we can respond to you. We just can't. We don't have it on the screen.
So moving on. Danny put these out. I don't know if they're going to be whatchamacallit, if they're going to be out normally or not. Busts tend to be sparse in general.
Right, yeah, like he'll every once in a while you'll get a drop of certain busts, and that's it.
So if there is still options for the bundled, that is still probably a good way to get to make sure that you get the bust size.
Right, especially certain newer dolls are still bundled, as far as I understand.
Yeah, but they're coming off quickly. All right, moving on. We saw Marvel T with freckles.
She's cute.
She is very cute. Dan. We all know Danny loves his freckles. Or their freckles.
I think he should have put out a freckle remover for April Fools. Because everybody's getting freckles now.
Yes, and not everyone wants them, but here's Live and Let Live. With an open mouth, which was cute. So we saw this a little while ago, and she dropped. as well as
Deborah, and I missed her, guys. Like, how many times do I say I need Live and Let Live without Freckles?
and all I ever saw, like multiple posts on Twitter, on Facebook, of people being like, I love her, she's my mini-me! And I'm like, oh, so much competition.
Yeah. I missed her only. I was awake. I was ready. I missed her because my phone went into sleep mode,
Yeah.
and like the do not disturb, and I didn't get the notification.
So, it happens to everyone.
Yep, it happens to everybody. I'll get my shot. He
One
said
day.
he said that everybody that dropped that day was not limited. So
Yeah. No, they can definitely make them, I think, as long as he's doing a lot more of these sort of customized versions that are like popular customized versions.
This one was heavily requested.
Yeah. All right. We also had a few awakenings. We had Genesis in T and Legion Scar in T.
Mm-hmm. And Genesis in T has Freckles now. If I thought I remembered that only Cinnamon had Freckles before, and now she's got both Cinnamon and T have Freckles.
It seems
by default.
She's gone Freckle by default. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So I hope you like her with Freckles, because
she got Freckles now.
All right. So before we get into like the fun stuff, we've got sort of the, I don't know, administrative stuff. And quite honestly, I probably wouldn't even talk too much about this, except that it kind of got my design brain working this week. So I did some playing around, which I'll show you in a second. But we've got 2 new disclaimers that he's added. Well, and I should say a quiz and a disclaimer.
Right.
What is going on with this?
Instead of having to check off, I understand this at checkout, it's when you put something in your cart. Is that am I understanding that correctly? It's
like a quiz. Like, yeah, when you add a smartdoll to the cart, there's a quiz about like the features and quirks of a smartdoll.
So yeah, you've really got to pay attention in order to go through the checkout process.
Yeah.
And this is not going to be. They can't at this time. It can't be removed with cookies.
Yeah, he is working on like a cookie center. Yeah, like cookies aren't the. I mean, code-wise, cookies are easy enough to set, but to allow people to manage them themselves and choose, like you see them everywhere on websites now because they're kind of a requirement with when you set cookies.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not setting a cookie, right? Like he's not storing anything that says, oh, they've seen this already.
Right.
So you just have to deal with it. But if you, in order to do cookies, he needs to give you a whole interface to manage those cookies and to choose which types of things you want, etc. So it's not the simplest thing to do, but he is working on adding that to the site. Somebody pointed out here that what did they tweet? R.I.P. dyslexic people.
Right, because there was so much text to look at,
and there's a lot. Let's not lie. But Danny was quick to point out that the entire website uses Lexend font, which is specifically designed for readability for dyslexic people. It creates like really good spacing between the letters, and creates unique recognizable glyphs for each letter, make it easier to read. I gotta say though, readability is one thing. Not legibility, that's not the word, but like the ability to understand it is another. And as somebody with ADHD, that wall of text, like,
especially when you're going after the dopamine of I'm buying this doll.
Oh god. Yes, it is the biggest dopamine block like ever.
Yeah, like no, just give me the dopamine. I don't want to read.
Which, for FOMO, I get it.
Yeah.
But here's my thing. It's like, what problem are we trying to solve here? Right?
Mhm.
Are we trying to make sure that we put enough barriers in place that people will just get sick of it and not buy and limit the audience?
Mhm.
Or are we actually trying to make sure that people understand?
Right.
Because I think if it's an educational issue, I think there's a lot of work that Danny could do in the making it easy to understand all the things that he needs them to understand.
Okay.
I think there's just way too many words, like just a lot of words, and in general, people don't read that much. It's not skimmable. Like, you can't figure out like where the actual important pieces are.
Right. Another ADHD thing. We're very good at skimming, and it's
well,
we're
if it's
practiced
skimmable,
at it.
yeah,
We're practiced at it, and if you can't skim it,
give up.
yeah.
Walk away. So I basically looked at it. I'm like, well, what if Danny did some work on not just like Agarva and Chad is saying an FAQ would be good. An FAQ
there is
still,
actually an FAQ.
yeah, it's there. It's still just a lot of text. And he's done some work. I actually gave him some feedback, I think, on the last revision of the FAQ. And I think he did a lot more work with like adding pictures.
Yeah, that's like that ticket to adventure thing or whatever it's called. That's like so many million yen.
Yeah.
That is an FAQ.
Yeah. Now, is that discoverable? I don't know, but I don't want to deep dive on this too much. But here is my quick mock-up, typos included, of like how Danny could take that disclaimer, that first disclaimer, and ultra simplify it down to just the points that need to be there and make it interesting and entertaining. Use the chibis. Like, make new ones. Like, make ones that specifically illustrate the point you're trying to get across with the girls and bring the... I don't know how much he really wants the chibis, like, on the website. But, just being able to go, okay, here are the bullet points, and within a sentence, get exactly what I need out of this. I would have liked to have maybe made put these in a box or made these stand out a little bit different. I don't know. I kind of ran out of energy here at the end, but you could also have done this. You could do this in a typical onboarding screen. So especially for mobile apps, it would be like one picture, 1 point,
Right, and then the arrow to the side.
Yep, you get a carousel that you can go through. And maybe you have to go through the whole carousel before you can click on to the end or something. But I don't know. It's just like, if the goal is to stop people, like, no matter what, I don't think the text is working. Like, it's clearly not. He's saying, like, he's just, having more and more issues with chargebacks and things like that. So my suggestion, try something different, try ultra simplification, and go more minimal and see if you can communicate more clearly what you need to communicate to people.
Shelby says, wow, how is it that adding the chibi representations and spacing stuff in sections made it that much easier to skim and comprehend? I will say, this is what I do for a living. So, this is basics of how you feed, like spoon feeding, essentially, your customers the information that you need them to absolutely get. And when the wall of text, those types of disclaimers, they usually don't want you to read them. So Danny, if you don't want people to read them, adding text is great. If you do want people to read them, gotta trim that down. Anyway, it's my 2 cents. I got a little carried away with the how would I do this? All right. Next up, Beast Parts. Okay, this particular character looks really cool. I I love
What class
all
is
of it. She's a bard.
She's a bard? Okay.
Yeah. She just doesn't have her stuff on her, but I think she's a bard. Maybe it's because I've been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate and the tieflings are bard. There's a tiefling bard in there.
Yeah. He reads I'm reading text or chat. She definitely reads tiefling. And I think kind of slightly to the antithesis of what Danny was going for. What do we have here? He said Minotaur horns, which these aren't really Minotaur horns. These are more ram horns, and which would mean more like devil horns kind of thing, which leans tiefling.
Right.
And the dragon tail is very much could be like a tiefling devil tail as well. So these actually work really, really well together.
And then you've got the talons, which are amusing.
Yeah.
Now, the cool thing about it is you could paint those to match the tail. So that they were more dragon-like.
Yep. I mean, definitely, I know somebody, at least online, were like, they wanted to see more, like black, with different claws. Like, there's a lot of fun things you could do. I want to see how these. I want to see, is this just Danny shoved some sticks up the ankles?
Yeah, and those are like feet. Did they make those feet, or are those just like cut off of some toy?
Right. I don't know. But I mean, it does, if it's just a post that's sticking into, like, you take the ankle off and then put a post on. The only main issue you have there is the inability to whatchamacallit, the inability, you could only rotate it like this. You can't actually alter, you'd have to use essentially the knee to be able to angle it correctly.
Right. Just a note on all of this, Kitten Cat Shop does sell magnetic horns.
Yeah, people were like, "Oh, the magnetic thing, a head cap is a great idea." It's been out for a long time.
Kitten Cat Shop have had magnetic horns of some kind for a while, and they actually have some new ones coming out. So look out for that.
I think what this does is show people how, like, this is all. If you've got a 3D printer, you could do this. And now, mind you, he has 3D models of all of the parts, and so he could print something that has a post that's perfectly
the right size.
Even though perfect is never really true because of shrinkage and all that sort of stuff. But it really goes to show you, like, the possibilities of what people can do. The only problem that I see is things like this. We'll see too many people with selling this stuff as like a normal business. Kitten Cat Shop has things like this, and it's part of a bunch of stuff that they sell in 3D print. But I don't know. It's I think because of like the like limited nature of, like, this is more about like, hey, get a 3D printer and customize this yourself, paint it yourself. Like, I think you're gonna, like, it's a great way to show people what they can do themselves. Yeah, I mean, if somebody's out there selling this stuff, maybe we'll see STL files for this.
And in terms of tails, Oh My Plastic Children, Madeline and Malachi, make tails that they don't have a dragon tail like that, but they have like furry tails that utilize the stand port. So this is not a new idea.
No, it's just a matter of like, it's high quality in terms of like the modeling and the printing and the painting and stuff. It looks great. So that brings us to our favorite part of the show. It's time to like the video.
Yay! Everybody liked the video.
Yeah, I know. It's every week. Blah blah blah. Content
Hand-pack
creators,
one. Hand-pack one.
can you hit that button for us? But it
It matters.
it matters, and it is one of the best ways. No matter how many times you say it, the best ways that you can help the channel to get it out to more people. Yeah. So do that. Getting back to our slightly unfortunate acronym, but the powered mecha suit
Yeah.
is in progress still.
Yeah. So we've seen this before. We saw this way earlier in the year.
Yep.
Of last year.
Yeah.
And it has been getting worked on. I mean, we've seen the sketches. We know that this much of this is legit.
Yep.
You know, he did have somebody draw sketches of it, and they made it.
Yeah, it's a 3D printed thing. It's like I think you can see like the bottom right hand corner is. I don't know if he actually has her, but that's supposed to be where the feet stop is in the down here in the bottom right. I don't think that's. I feel like she might have like no shins to get in there right now. I don't know. But we've seen these before.
Yep, the sketches I was talking about.
Yep, from acclaimed mecha designer Kunio Okawara, and who actually, I think I've got the picture in here. Well, it's a picture of Danny with Kunio, and he designed like a car for Mirai.
Oh, right, yes.
And so it's very cool. And here we have the full thing closed up. It is open here. This is completely open in the front. But this is like mounted here on this sort of like circular neck port thing. Assumedly, this would kind of close in around her neck, and then the helmet would go on.
So, yeah. So,
never mind. It comes over the top, which, in order to work, I think you'd have to take the smart doll's head off.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, and then put it through, and then put the helmet and the head on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this has elements in reality, which is like oftentimes Danny's things do. I don't think it's going to be a full mech suit that actually operates. And what was the joke about using food delivery partnerships?
Yes, he was thinking about funding this by partnering with food delivery places because you could add in servos to this and make little 2-foot tall marching mechs that could deliver your food. Totally happening. Yeah, it looks like we are having some connection issues here and there, so I apologize for the drop frames. Thankfully, not too much is going on with the pictures, so not missing too much. Next up, Venus.
Birth of Venus. Isn't she lovely?
Yes, and now that song will be stuck in my head. She is gorgeous, and this looks to be a custom cosplay, just like Megan and Wednesday, but of art.
Right. Which is very cool. So it's kind of like following along the path of David from last year.
Yes.
This did not have a Rickroll on it because it's a cosplay.
Yeah, I mean, so this is our first look at a pair girl with birthmarks.
Yes.
We should be seeing. We've already seen. I don't know if we've seen it, but we got in our chaos a Valiant pair without birthmarks. So we, Valiant is coming to pair. But I mean, I'm pretty sure this girl is all her own. And fully custom hand-painted face.
Yeah, she looks very much like Not Everything to Everyone, but she's been given a much softer look.
I love the blushing that they're using here underneath and above the eye.
Yeah, very pretty. And I love this wig too. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean, it goes all... you can see it here. He's using, like, little cloth tie or something like that to kind of control where and how it's going. But yeah, no, it's a very, very, very good wig.
Maddie Unknown asked if we saw the instructional videos. Like, I'm assuming you're referring to the Never Gonna Give You Up rickrolling. We always go through everything that Danny puts up for April Fools because there's always a little kernel of truth in them.
Yeah.
So we always go through everything.
So, I mean, he's making everything, whether he's actually selling it. No. It is April Fools. They're not actual products. But I think this girl did not have one. And I think what that means is there is the possibility that she becomes a real girl because she is, she's a cosplay and he has started to make and turn cosplays into actual girls.
Right.
Now here, it's what, he can do whatever he wants because he mentions this multiple times. The beauty of licensing The Birth of Venus is that you don't pay for anything.
Right.
It's public domain and he can do whatever he wants with this. It's very cool. And this is probably, to me, the highlight of this week's posts.
Yeah, and the one thing I will say, you can do whatever you want with it to a certain extent. He actually did post that Instagram wanted him to take this down, or they took it down for him, and he had to put it back up. I'm sexual content.
I'm sure we'll be dealing with getting demonetization notices, but we normally do anyway because of dolls. So. But yes, she is a lot more generally naked than a lot of the other dolls. So yeah, gorgeous. Anything else?
No, just love her. She's beautiful.
Now you mentioned David, and this year has been a big turnaround in the development of the boys, smart dolls, and we get sort of an update on progress. David so macho. I had to put him in the room where the David is.
Right.
So this is a little bit altered, but yeah, this is just hilarious. We've got the new macho body, and the funny thing is, and this is both, I guess, good and bad. There's a lot of people on Twitter that instantly just started in with the critiques. And the commentary is, it's like, guys, it's April 1st. But they are commenting about
the shape of the body.
I don't know what they were looking for exactly, but you kind of got to understand. One person specifically said that the boobs are too round, and did like a Photoshop of like sort of flattening out
underneath, which actually caused you to be able to see the split between the torso and the bust more.
Yeah, but do remember where this comes from. He is very specifically modeling Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, that is not straight under there. That's round.
He's got some coconuts.
Wolf just commented, "Moobs are round too."
Yep.
Yeah.
So whatever you may specifically prefer, Danny has a target, a very specific target, and I don't think you're gonna get him to change that too much. He's building a He-Man.
Yeah.
And then he needs some globes.
Yeah, I gotta say, I am not a fan of the legs. The legs are. I'm personally not a Macho body fan anyway.
I'm just gonna
but
cover up the.
I'm not a Macho body fan myself, but yeah, no, I don't like the legs at all.
It's like it does have this element of like I've had my skin ripped off. like it's just so all muscle and yeah.
I mean, ever since like I started like looking at boys, I have never ever like the one thing you'll always hear me say is I have never liked guys who can't move.
Yeah.
Like,
and
that's not attractive to me at all. So
this is, again, Danny has a very specific target here. And it is, it is what it is. I'm going to go back to there. Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, like I would it's probably going to be covered up with clothes most of the time anyway. But yeah, it does look, Wolf says the legs look like their 80s He-Man figure. And I looked for legs. I can't remember if I saw Arnold Schwarzenegger's legs and they were very much like this, or if he's gone like into more like He-Man legs. But this is.
I think Schwarzenegger in his heyday may have had that.
Well, sure. But it's just a matter of like that much definition. I mean,
in his competition days.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I wasn't looking at him like now.
Oh no, I mean, even meant like once he started making movies. Like he probably looked like that when he was in competitions.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, David, I think, will continue to be a polarizing figure, and also completely available. You should go pre-order him now.
So the elements that are real of this, he is working on the body.
Yep.
David came out last year. The other, that was last year's April Fool's was the making of David. Also, he is working on a gray boy. We know that.
We have yet to see a head to go with this.
Right.
Which I mean, other than David here. But David doesn't quite work with this body. I think just the scaling is like a teeny bit off, I think. But
I will say I do like the strength of David's head. Like I like that jawline and stuff myself.
Yeah, I'm just talking about like the like how it looks on the body.
Right.
But yeah. Again, this is totally real. Pre-order now. So yeah. So Macho. I'm gonna do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're doing that.
That's what I actually wanted to do.
Oh, okay.
Because I wanted to stop staring at David so much. Of course, he's still up on my screen. So yeah. That is the like plethora of stuff that was just announced like yesterday, last night, this morning. Yesterday for Danny.
Right.
Late last night for us. And we will we'll be keeping our eyes on these. And in the meantime, we're gonna do this.
We've been driving around, singing songs way too loud because we wanna. Picking up all our friends, fill up the car till it bends because we wanna. Yeah, we just wanna have fun. The trunk's full of wine. We're gonna stay up, have the time of our lives. The night is young, don't need anybody else. We came to party all night long, and we don't need no champagne.
on our own. We came to party all night long and sing along to every song. We don't need nobody's attention, don't need nobody else in our zone. Making plans so fast we go, worried us when no one knows just how we want it.
Love the the Easter themes this past week. Thank you to the Smarty Party planners for putting that together each week. And I will note that I didn't put it in there, but Danny did tease that they were going to be making or he's going to start developing based off of somebody's tweet a rabbit kigurumi, a bunny kigurumi.
Yes.
So we'll look forward to seeing that.
Yeah, he said if it comes to fruition, they'll get a free one, which was very cool.
Yes, the person who suggested it, not
Everybody who shared a
anybody
picture.
else.
Yeah.
Let's see. Holly K says, John and Sandy, do you know yet if for Anime Impulse you'll be in the Summit or Arch building? I believe Anime Impulse is in the Summit building.
Okay.
But check out animeimpulse.com to be sure.
Now, I had something I was going to say, and I've completely, entirely forgotten what it was.
And did anybody come up with ideas for names for this lady?
Oh, I just remembered what it was. We were looking at the Smarty Party, and I was going to mention Pignil had a good April Fool's joke on Facebook today when they said that they were tired of taking pictures of their Smarties and we're just going to start taking pictures of landscapes instead. I commented, I'm like, that was a good one. I'm like, it took me a second, and then I was like, nah.
That's a good one. Holly K's asking about said they didn't see it on the website. I could have sworn I looked up on the website to find where it was, and I said Summit because we were talking about
we were looking at where we could stay for hotels,
right?
And I think it was Summit.
It's on there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Summit. But we'll look into it and make a note to let you guys know next week. But especially as we get closer. K-Space says, I thought Esme for her name, but I think it's too gentle. Esme just reminds me of Emerald since it's her wig color's name too. Let's see. Lavinia. Yeah. Mystic.
Leonine, Mystic, Ophelia.
Yeah. She's kind of both of ours, which means we're gonna have an awful time trying to name her.
Yeah, we'll have to come
one of us is gonna have to just relinquish her. It's gonna be my
Aoife. I love Aoife. That's a beautiful name.
Anyway, that's all we got. So I do want to, of course, thank our non-existent there we go. Our our super smarties from last week, Denise Riley. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. And our Discord subscribers.
There's a lot of you. We love you. Thank you for everything that you do to support us.
Yeah, really appreciate you giving every single month, and we couldn't do this without you. And that, of course, brings us to the end.
That's all for us, guys. That's everything.
And
We'll s-
now sorry.
We'll see you again next week.
I was going to start to sing. Bye.
Bye.